Alright guys, something new came up. An idea came to my mind, and I wanted to improve my dairy farm. I have two kettles at the moment, two cows. I milk one, so I've seen the production going down. So what I wanted to do is have it in a zero grazing type of setup, where it will not be moving anywhere, as it will just be in a specific location. This way I can be able to reduce the amount of stress the cow has in terms of looking for food, because right now they just graze in the farm where I have grass, and that one is one part because they walk a lot, they stand a lot, they basically I think they lose a lot of energy actually just grazing. So what I'm doing is I want to provide them everything in one location, so they'll just eat, drink and sleep. That's it. So I've been running the current dairy farm, I think, for the last 2-3 years, but I want to change to have full zero grazing. They'll not be moving to any other location. I've started by teaching them how to eat dry feeds. I'm also working on hydroponics again, so that I'll be giving them hydroponics. So I'll be giving them dry feeds, hydroponic feeds again, the fodder. So I'll be bringing in like napier grass. I have land where I've planted napier grass and all that, and I will be doing fermentation of feeds, which will be silage, just on a small scale. So I'll be showing you that, but for now the most important thing is now we are going to create the cow shed where it will be sleeping, and that compound for it to sleep and eat. So what I've measured is around 20 meters by around it's how many meters, 20 by around 8 meters. That is the dimension of the compound where they'll be enclosed in, so they'll not be leaving that specific diameter, so that perimeter. So I'll show you as we construct a very simple, what I wanted is a very simple budget friendly setup. I don't want to invest a lot of money for now. A very simple, and most of this work that I'll be doing myself. The only thing that I may not be doing is setting up the roofing of the section where they'll be sleeping. I already have a section where I already set up a year ago, a section where they feed. Okay, so the only section that is remaining is where they'll be sleeping, and that is when I need somebody to set up that, do the roofing and do the flooring. So for now, but for the whole surrounding things, the gates and all that, I'll be making and I'll be showing you in this video. So see you then. All that I'll be making and I'll be showing you in this video. So see you then. Alright, so as you can see, yeah, we're digging the holes for the poles. I've already dug a few holes, and for the few holes that we already dug, I was bringing in some poles, fixing the poles up to those holes without doing any what do we call it? Without laying down, like setting up firmly to the ground. So you can see my brother there digging the hole, I bringing in the poles there, selecting the best poles for the corner sections, because you need to have like very stable and handy poles at the corner sections, and then at specific intervals, as you'll be seeing, I'll be selecting also specific poles for that, for those specific intervals. So you progress doing that for a few hours during the day, and after some time, most of the poles were done. Of course, you can see me there adjusting the camera, adjusting a few things in order to give you guys a good view of everything, highlighting best section that we can have camera settings. So here I was reviewing, checking out if the poles were really in a good place. So in terms of the holes that we were digging, because this is for cattle or dairy, so what we did is basically we dug holes that are 2 inches deep, not 2 inches, 2 feet deep. So 2 feet deep, that is probably from the tip of your fingers to your shoulders. So that is around 2 feet on estimation, like normal person's hands. So this is to ensure that at least you have something that is more, you have like a proper foundation for the offcuts that you'll be placing, and good protection to protect your in case the cows lean on it or start fighting or running to each other and all that. So you have a proper foundation to ensure that that does not happen. So after a few lunch breaks, we came back, and you can see now the poles they have already fitted. Most of the poles, only one or two, a few holes are remaining, and then now we'll start adding soil to the holes that we dug. And once we've done that, we will be able now to use the digging tool and actually compress more soil to that hole, so that the posts are firm to the ground. So the other thing is, because this was a quick thing that I was making, it's a temporary thing for now, and I wanted to use the lowest cost budget as possible. One thing that I didn't put is I did oil up the trees at the bottom where it goes to the ground. You should be able to do that, especially if you are in sections where there are termites. Like for this place, there are few termites here, but the advantage is for this soil, it has a lot of sand as well, so it's more of a maram soil, which are used for buildings, construction. So, and you can find that termites are not good in those soils. They don't like those soils. So for me here, because it was temporary, I didn't need to do a lot of work on that. I didn't need to oil it up and all that. But if you need to do that, if you live in places where you have ants, a lot of ants and all that, then you will need to do that. So in this section here, you can see we started lining up the posts to the ground. And you can see the cows there are enjoying their feeds. I have 2 cows, like I mentioned earlier, so they're enjoying their feeds there. And we are lining, we want everything to be in a straight line, on a straight line. So you can see once in a while I'll come to this and look at the posts, ensure that everything is put in place, ensure that the posts are in line, so that once we start using offcuts to lay like the boundary, then not the boundary, to lay, to actually set up the compound, then of the cattle, then everything, the offcuts will line on up well and all that. So we had to bring in, because it had rained the day before, so we had to bring in some of the dry soil, so that we fix it in the ground. So, and on those holes that we dug for the posts. And once we start compressing with the digging tool, then it makes it makes that post firmer, so it holds firmly to the ground and it doesn't shake. So we don't want it to shake, because if it shakes, then that makes things a little bit more complex, where the walls will not be strong enough to withstand cattle lying or sleeping on that end. So that is what we are doing here. And I think if because I'm so used to doing this, if you are new to this, so what you need, I'll advise you probably to place a rope on the far end, on the farthest king post to the next king post, and then use that rope to determine how everything is in a straight line, so everything falls within the first and the last king post that you do have. So once you do that, then you can have a straight line, but I'm used to doing this. I do this for my fences and all that, so I just need to probably crouch and then look at the tree from the on the bottom side and ensure that all the posts are lined up well. Then I raise up a little bit, then look in the middle of the post, ensure that everything lines up in the post, then stand up and look at the top of the post and see that everything is lining up. So once that is up, if you're used to it, then it makes things easier for you. So that is probably a quick tip for you. So as you can see here, we started bringing in the offcuts. We fell down a few trees to build up the stores a few months back, and this because we haven't built the store yet, and this is a temporary thing that I wanted us to set up. So I was trying to use all the raw materials that I have. I didn't want to go buying or getting new raw materials for that, so I wanted to ensure that I use the existing raw materials, because I wanted to set up a very cheap dairy unit for my farm, just to hold up. And then before I start actually setting up a permanent structure within this specific compound again. So I'll not move the dairy unit, it will stay in this section. I had said that I'll move it probably sometimes back to the other section, but I felt no, I don't need to move that. This space is enough. I can use this space. It's around how many, it's around 10 meters by width, and then around 5 meters by 10 by 5 by 5 7 by around 12 meters. So I think that is enough for probably around 4 or 5 cattle. And then I have a calving unit. You can see behind that store there is a calving unit where we have a house for the calves. So we'll have those calves again in a zero grazing. I'll shoot another video and show you guys on that later on once we start having all those animals coming in, and then I'll show you that. So as you can see here now on the video, we are setting up the offcuts, nailing them to the posts. And this was a very quick thing. It didn't take us, just nailing the post, of course, to the post, it took us around 30 minutes and we were done with everything. So it's something that very simple, anybody can be able to do it on the farm. You just need to dedicate a few hours on the day, and you are able to do you can be able to create that fence quickly and easily. One mistake probably that I did is I left a lot of space between each offcut. When laying them across, I left in the space with a bigger space, so I should have actually compacted everything so that somebody from outside, or the cows from inside, cannot see outside, because my cows are not used to zero grazing, being confined to a specific space, a certain space. They don't like that. So because if they can see the pasture outside, the grass outside, so it limits them, they will not want to eat the food. So what I should have done is basically ensure that I have each offcut lying above each one another, so that we don't have that space, so that it cannot be able to see what is outside, and then it will focus on what is inside the dairy unit. So that is probably a tip. If you are if you are bringing in cows or cattle that you've not trained to eat in a confined restricted area, then you may need to consider that as one of the things that you need to do for your cattle. You need to, once it says it doesn't have any options but basically to eat the food that is available there, then you'll not have problems. But once it looks outside and sees there is a big there is pasture outside and all that, so the cows won't really like doing eating in that confined area that you are providing. So that is a tip for you guys, for those who are looking at setting up their own very simple pasture dairy unit. So you need to consider that. You ensure that the cows only know that they only have this option, this one option of eating from this confined area, and not storage where I store feed and food. Setting up water there. Those are salt. They eat salt here from these dark wooden troughs. One is a traditional one, the other one is a modern made of just wood, 6x1. So this one I created this earlier, so it can fit 4 cows. It has one big eating trough. I don't know what eating trough, two eating troughs, and 2 cows share one eating trough. So what I'm planning to do is in this space here, which is actually just behind where they eat from. Okay, I'll just show you. So this is I'm standing where they eat from. Okay, so on this space here I want to create a place where they'll be sleeping, so they're not rained on. And then I will fill the whole of this section here with concrete and sawdust. So sawdust is where they'll be sleeping there. I'll cover it with sawdust so that they have comfort there while sleeping. And then here it will just be concrete floor. Okay, and even here I'll add concrete floor here, so that I'm able to collect this dung. You can see the cow dung here. There are lots of them, and use that for my biogas, or set up a biodigester to add that. I'm thinking of in the store section there, I put drinking water, drinking trough, or I can put it here. So I'm trying to figure out, because I need to expand this to fit around 6 or 7 cows. So if I can add here 2, it will be 6 cows. So if it can fit 6 cows, then I'll be good. So that means I'll need to expand it from here to where the freshened cow is, the head is. So that will be around 2 cows, and then I remain with that space where I can create like a salt eating area. And then I move the feeding the water trough there, then collect rainwater from both roofs, the roof that I'll set up here and the roof here. Collect all water to that point. Okay, and then probably that will be able now to help me sort out everything. Now this is where the mother cows will be sleeping, right? So where we have my calves is at the gate here. There is where the cows will set up. So what I can do is I can set up a zero grazing for them as well, where it will reach this tree and then come and reach this wall here. So that is where they'll be, the cows will be, for all these cows that will be on this section. Alright, that's a simple setup. I will keep you updated.